Now, before I get you our top story on India's counter-terror operations, an intelligence agency is warning of a spike in terrorist activities in Jammu and Kashmir because Pakistan is now getting extremely desperate. Let me take you through the numbers. The single biggest surge in COVID-19 cases in India has been today. And take a look at those images on your television screen in terms of the numbers spike. 46,711 confirmed cases of coronavirus in India. 1,583 people have lost their lives. 13,161 people have recovered. That's the information that the Health Ministry has released at 9 this evening. But let me begin today's story by telling you what's happening in the national capital. And our top developments start at a government building, Shastri Bhavan complex. Now, the Shastri Bhavan in New Delhi houses a large number of ministries, and Shastri Bhavan, one part of Shastri Bhavan had to be contained and sealed. This is after an official tested positive. Now that entire building and area is being sanitized, and several people who came in contact with that official are being quarantined. Section 144 has been imposed in Mumbai till the 17th of May. The Mumbai police has said the movement of more than 2 people for any non-essential service except for medical reasons is completely prohibited between 8 p.m. and 7 p.m. Remember, Mumbai is the worst hit city with over 9,000 cases. 5 Jamaatis linked to the Nizamuddin Markaz Tablighi Jamaat have been arrested by the police in Noida, in Gautam Budh Nagar, adjoining Delhi. Now, these Jamaatis had apparently been hiding for more than a month without informing local authorities about their whereabouts. Our top focus story on the broadcast is Prime Minister Narendra Modi exposing a state sponsor of terror in our neighborhood. The Prime Minister was speaking at the Non-Aligned Movement Summit. This was, of course, via video conference. The Prime Minister talked about India being the pharmacy to the world. He spoke about how India is giving life, steps that India is taking to help out fellow countries across the world. In fact, more than 100 countries, India has provided them hydroxychloroquine and other medicines that they require. There are others who are actually spreading the virus of terror. He did not name Pakistan, but it's very clear. There's been a spike in terrorist activities. Intelligence agencies are warning that terrorists are not only now at launch pads, but they're moving towards the LC infiltration attempts. There's been a spike in infiltration attempts. I'll get you more on that story, but take a look at our top story tonight.
Pakistan's big terror surge. The Bleed India conspiracy even during a global pandemic. Prompting Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the NAM-E summit to launch a scathing counter-attack on Pakistan for exporting the virus of terrorism. Contrasting it with the fact that India is playing the pharmacy to the world by exporting key medicines like hydroxychloroquine.
Even as the world fights COVID-19, some people are busy spreading other deadly viruses such as terrorism, such as fake news and doctored videos to divide communities and countries.
Pakistan is continuing its cross-border terror infiltration bids while the world is battling the challenge thrown out by COVID-19.
It is very shameful on the Pakistan when the world is fighting corona and all the resources are diverted toward that. Pakistan is diverting its resources again towards terrorism, which is dangerous for their own country as well as for India also.
Experts point out that the snow starting to melt in Jammu and Kashmir is making things much easier for terrorists to infiltrate.
It looks, as the summer is coming, they have increased their militant activity in Jammu and Kashmir.
After Article 370's purge, Pakistan has been trying to increase its firepower by moving its artillery closer to the line of control, giving cover fire to infiltrating terrorists.
It is obsessed with India, and it feels that only by terrorism it can defeat India. It forgets that India has a very strong leadership and very strong armed forces, very strong army.
The summer of 2020 is going to be extremely important for the security forces. The immediate task, root out Pakistan's plot to defeat India's Naya Kashmir initiative. Bureau Report, India Today.
This is Pakistan's last-ditch, desperate attempt. Remember, after the abrogation of Article 370, after the integration of Jammu and Kashmir completely with the rest of the country, Pakistan doesn't have any aces up its sleeve except, of course, terrorism. And because Pakistan is under pressure from the Financial Action Task Force, Pakistan is giving a new face to terror. Lashkar-e-Taiba. Now, the Financial Action Task Force wants Pakistan to take action against LET and Hafiz Saeed. Pakistan has given a new face, a new name called the Resistance Front. It's a name that has no connotation or no connection with the Lashkar-e-Taiba, but security forces believe the Resistance Front is nothing but Lashkar-e-Taiba with a new name.
Intelligence agencies have warned the security forces of a spike in infiltration attempts, with movements spotted in terror launch pads across the line of control in North Kashmir. To dodge international pressure and the Financial Action Task Force, Pakistan had relaunched the Lashkar-e-Taiba under a new name, the Resistance Force, or TRF, which claimed responsibility for the recent terror strike at Handwara.
They have tried to be clever, where they've ensured that they've not put a word related to religion or related to Pakistan, which has always been abetting and has been backing these groups. They have come out with innovative method in the sense that they can use it online and try to be in the same continuation of lie, propaganda, psychological warfare, and the radicalization plan that we have.
Security forces have stepped up operations against Valley-based terrorists. 28 terrorists were killed in the month of April alone. A total of 65 have been killed since January this year. There's been a major drop in local terror recruitment too, with only 35 local boys being lured by Pakistan-based terror groups to join the terror ranks so far in 2020.
This is a season from the point of view that snow has melted, weather has become clear, and they are out from the hideout. I think that is one reason. Second is that the Pakistan has, because it has failed on every front and is desperate like anything to do something out here. They've been looking for whatever method may be available to enjoin the same old track of terrorism after 5th August.
The security forces anticipate a spate of desperate suicide attacks on security checkpoints, convoys and camps, as Pakistan gets desperate to keep Kashmir in the headlines and its failure to deal with corona out of the public glare. But forces are upping the game to tackle terror at its source and neutralize the threat within.
The government insists, whether it's the Lashkar-e-Taiba, the Hizbul Mujahideen, or the new name, the Resistance Front, terrorists will be shot and destroyed. Efforts will also be to neutralize the terror-enabling ecosystem. With cameraman Kripal Singh in Delhi, Gaurav Sawant for India Today. So, is there an end game in mind, and if so, how soon? And before the end game, will we actually see a big spike as intelligence agencies warn security forces and the government? Joining me on the broadcast is Lieutenant General Satish Dua. He's former Chief of Integrated Defence Staff. He's also former Kashmir Corps Commander. General, welcome on India First. Also with me is Kamar Cheema, a well-respected defence analyst who joins us from Pakistan, a country that appears to be fighting a losing battle to coronavirus. Perhaps is that the reason why we see this spike in pushing terrorists at the LC? But General, I want to come to you first and I want to understand from you. One, what do you make of the recent attacks in Handwara and this new outfit called the Resistance Front? General, give me a moment. I will try and fix that audio with you in just a moment. But Kamar Chima, look at the situation in your country, sir. You've got more than 21,000 confirmed coronavirus cases. At least that's the official number. Your own media says unofficial numbers could be much higher. More than 500 people are dead. Your hospitals are overwhelmed. There's not enough food to feed people in Pakistan. But your Prime Minister and your army's effort seems to be pushing terrorists at the LC. When will you guys behave in a civilized manner, sir? Why can't Pakistan behave in a civilized manner?
Well, I think what is happening right now in India and Pakistan, India is not different from Pakistan as far as the COVID-19 is concerned. The number of cases are very high, looking at the population. And I think this is not the question today. The question what we need to ask, and the question and the issue what we need to discuss is that since the rise of this government in India in 2014, we are seeing the rise of ethno-religious nationalism, which is marginalizing and discriminating.
Absolutely, forget it. I mean, आपका नाम पूछता हूँ, आप गाड़ी का नंबर बताते हो. कमर चीमा, ये इस ब्रॉडकास्ट में तो नहीं चलेगा. आप अंग्रेजी के 3 शब्द सीख कर आ जाते हो और वही यहाँ पर no. Stick to facts. One, there is no comparison between India, pharmacy to the world, and Pakistan, terror spreader. Let's keep facts very clear, Kamar Chima. We are giving medicines to the whole world. To the whole world. From America to Brazil to countries in Europe, across the world, India is giving medicines. What are you doing? You're spreading terror. How can there be a comparison? Do you realize that? You realize that, Kamar Chima?
The point is, listen, Gaurav,
do you realize
let
that?
me finish my argument first. I have an argument and you should listen to my argument.
But do you realize this point?
What do you
We
expect?
give medicines, you give terror.
What are you doing? What are you
We
doing
are helping the world. Your Prime Minister is begging for arms.
In Pakistan, forget this. What is happening in COVID-19? Are you dealing with the COVID-19 properly?
Sir, your Prime Minister is begging.
Dying because
दुनिया से आ रहे हमको पैसा दे दो, COVID-19 आ रहा है, पैसा दे दो, पैसा दे दो, पैसा दे दो. सर, कुछ तो शर्म आती होगी पाकिस्तान को एज अ कंट्री. नहीं आती.
Properly with this COVID-19. I think you never know the situation. What is the situation in India? And you are claiming, we need to deal with this terrorism.
I don't know the situation in India. Sir, I am on the streets of this country every day. I am reporting from ground zero every day. Sir, I travel across the length and breadth of this country. I report from ground zero. You will take some time to understand that. But let me go to General Dua. Let me go to General Dua. General Dua, there's merit in what the Prime Minister says. अरे कमर चीमा, पानी पी लो. अरे सर, पानी पी लो. पानी पी लो सर, पानी पी लो. टेम्परेचर हाई हो जाएगा, आपको हॉस्पिटलाइज. Okay. कमर चीमा. 1 point, sir. 1 point, Kamar Chima. You agree with that point? India gives medicines to the world. Pakistan gives terror to the world. Hydroxychloroquine के लिए the whole world has thanked India. The US president has thanked India. The Brazilian president has thanked India. The Russian Prime Minister has thanked India. European countries have thanked India. But Pakistan is begging, sir. Pakistan is begging everywhere for money and spreading terror.
Where have you this medicine? And are people getting treated with this? Are people getting rescued with chloroquine? You have no idea. You have produced, since you have a big population, you have this big number of medicine with you, and you are saying we are giving this. Is it a solution to COVID-19? No. So if it is a solution, give to your people.
It at least brings viral load down, but at least we are not spreading terror in the manner in which you are.
Why chloroquine is not saving lives in
How
India?
long? What is your Prime Minister doing? Are you proud of your Prime Minister who is on a bent knee? Whether he's talking to China or he's talking to America or he's talking to Europe, he's on a bent knee. अरे पैसे दे दो वरना हम COVID-19 से मर जाएंगे. Are you proud of your Prime Minister? Are you proud of your country? Are you proud of your economy? A collapsing economy, a collapsing country, and yet spreading terror?
India has got a $1 billion for Asian Development Bank for fighting with the COVID-19. Every country around the world is getting money.
And so your loans are being cancelled. Your loans are being cancelled. Do you realize that? That is your country spreading terror only to divert attention?
Donor organizations.
Kamar Chima, it's a simple question, sir.
Enough?
It's a simple question.
the COVID-19.
Is your country sponsoring terror only to shift focus from COVID-19?
Oh, so
Let
you
me
are
take that
saying-
question
you are
to
saying-
General Dua.
you are saying
General
that-
Dua, I hope we
that-
have the audio link back with you. Kamar Chima will continue to fume and froth because he doesn't have factual points with him, and that is perhaps the case with virtually every Pakistani. They lack facts. But General Dua, when we see these casualties, and these are unaffordable casualties, when you look at five Braves lost in Handwara, 3 more CRPF Braves lost in Handwara, you've commanded the 15 Corps, sir, you've commanded the Srinagar Corps. Will we see a spike this summer because Pakistan is pushing in more terrorists, because launch pads, whether it's in Atmukam or all across Lipa Valley, they're full and they're pushing in terrorists? General?
Yes, in my view, they are going to push in more terrorists. Corona or no corona, they are actually going to push in more terrorists because of 2 reasons. Firstly, it happens every summer. Secondly, now is the time after the dilution of Article 370. This is the first summer, and they are also under pressure to show some results, whether it's from their public or whether it's the Pakistan Army. They will push in. This is the time. Also, we must remember that when snow has just started melting a bit, there is still snow in the higher reaches, but when the snow is melting, this for a month or two, the fence is damaged considerably, and by the time we resuscitate the fence, this is an opportunity for them to infiltrate more and more terrorists across the line of control, and that's what they're doing. And you remember the encounter that we had last month, where also we lost 5 brave hearts. Now, coming to this Handwara and other encounters, you gave out good figures. Now, the resistance front, they have sort of tried to reinvent themselves. As somebody else also said, resistance front does not have a name that can link with any particular tanzeem. It is resistance. The word resistance, human rights finds better acceptance in Western capitals. If you recall, a decade ago, when they started doing the stone pelting, yes. In 2009-10, that time they picked up a cue from the Palestine Intifada. Stone pelting was taken as an unarmed protest, and now they're repackaging this into resistance, yes. linking with human rights. So they are constantly trying to change the tactics. Also, very importantly, it will serve the purpose of circumventing the FATF compliances, because this task resistance front does not find its name in the terror list.
In your appreciation, has Pakistan lost the Kashmir game completely, especially after the abrogation of Article 370 or dilution, as you very correctly put it, after the surgical strike, after the airstrike that took place? Has Pakistan completely lost the narrative, and terror maybe its only option as of now? But if we hit them hard in those launch pads, is it an end game for Pakistan and Pakistan state-sponsored terror?
Well, you are right. Whether it is end game or not, but it's a very significant change, because after 370, it is as if the rug has been pulled out from their beneath their feet, because suddenly basis for a lot of what they've been claiming for has been knocked off. So with this, they really don't know what to do. However, they will continue to push terror. This is a to quote somebody else, this is a macabre social capital they have, the human capital that they have, that they are going to push across terrorists, because it's a very low cost option for them, and it has complete deniability.
Yes.
So they will continue to push in terrorists. There is no doubt on that. Whether or not they is going to yield any results. Now, we need to be strong enough, like you brought out. We need to take strong steps, but despite being a military man, I say that our only military actions won't do. We need to use all other instruments of power, whether it is diplomatic, commercial, any other issues that we can sort of
and I think,
converge.
Yes. Absolutely. All parts of India need to come together, including the civil society. We need to come together to send that message across to Pakistan. Terror, state-sponsored terror is unacceptable. Kamar Chima, I hope in your country, better sense prevails. General Dua, for the moment, many thanks for joining me. Before I end this bulletin, I really want to focus on what's happening between the United States of America and China, because that will impact what's happening virtually across the world. And it's not just US President Donald Trump and Secretary Pompeo, but increasingly now America and other countries not only want the truth to emerge, but indication are that pressure on China is only mounting for the truth to emerge. There's a report. Now, we haven't seen that report, but take a look at its contents.
A fictional scene looks too close to home. A virus hops from a bat to another mammal in China. The mammal is sold in a Wuhan wildlife market. The infection spreads to humans. And a pandemic explodes. Back to business. Wuhan's wet market has so far been the most likely culprit in coronavirus transmission. Well, not any longer. The Trump administration is now hunting down the origins of the pandemic elsewhere in Wuhan. In the city's complex laboratories, the US president has recently suggested the coronavirus did come out from a Wuhan laboratory.
Have you seen anything at this point that gives you a high degree of confidence that the Wuhan Institute of Virology was the origin of this virus?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
But that doesn't mean the coronavirus was developed in a lab as part of China's bioweapons program. Before President Trump pushed the lab theory without elaborating, the top US spy agency issued a rare statement on April the 30th, ruling out the possibility of the novel coronavirus being human-made or genetically modified. That said, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence pointedly insisted that it is investigating information that COVID-19 could have escaped accidentally from the Wuhan laboratory. It's no secret that Wuhan's biosafety laboratory handles the most dangerous pathogens, including coronaviruses from bats. Renowned virologist Shi Zhengli is the team leader at the Wuhan laboratory. In a social media post, Shi contended that her facility never possessed the virus that triggered this pandemic. Whether the novel coronavirus leaked like a genie out of a bottle from a Chinese lab or not, the question is now a new geopolitical shuttlecock, bouncing back and forth between Washington and Beijing.
I would note that intelligence statement you're referring to really made 2 points. One, that this virus originated in China. Two, that it began through contact with infected animals or was the result of an accident at a laboratory in Wuhan.
Under American flak for its handling of the pandemic at the early stages, China has stoutly defended its research laboratories.
Mr. Ziming also denied rumors that the laboratory accidentally leaked coronavirus collected from bats and emphasized that the laboratory strictly implements biosecurity procedures.
Richard Horton is the editor of the prestigious Lancet Medical Journal. Last month, he described coronavirus as the greatest global science policy failure in a year. Horton has thrown his weight behind China, who he believes is being unfairly targeted.
China didn't want this epidemic. China isn't responsible for this pandemic. It's happened. And China, in my view, the doctors and the scientists who I know in China have done the most tremendous job in advising the government and in treating the population and in protecting the lives of Chinese citizens. I think China should be very proud of its medical and scientific community, and for international political leaders to be so critical of China is not only unfair, but it's plainly incorrect and factually untrue.
While various theories abound, the exact source of the outbreak remains unknowable till it's undeniably established. At the same time, it's too soon to know whether the Trump administration is scapegoating China or Chinese laboratories are actually accident-proof, as Beijing claims. Bureau Report, India Today.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.